From the pages of MikeHuckabee.com, the place to read all my columns and get a rundown of the news that you can actually trust, let's take a look back at the stories that make up the week that was. And to have my insights delivered right to your email inbox twice a day, and it's always completely free, all you have to do is sign up for my newsletter at MikeHuckabee.com. Wednesday, the New York City home and office of Rudy Giuliani were visited by FBI agents at about 6 a.m. They were there to seize electronics that investigators think might be able to prove that Rudy Giuliani violated the FARA Act. That's the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which prohibits working on behalf of another country without actually registering as a foreign agent. According to reports, the investigation likely involves allegation of lobbying for Ukrainian officials who were helping Giuliani look into questions regarding Joe Biden. That also would include Hunter Biden and Ukraine. Uh-oh, got to put a stop to that. It would appear that since Merrick Garland became Attorney General, the weaponization of the Justice Department has ramped back up to full speed. Megan Fox at PJ Media points out the Justice Department's huge double standard. They can be lightning fast and aggressive as pit bulls when coming after someone inconvenient like Giuliani. But they will slow walk investigations of their political friends till the end of time. Take John Kerry, for instance. Climate blowhard and now alleged rogue Iranian asset. Last weekend, the New York Times published a report detailing leaked audio where Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif revealed Kerry informed him of Israeli attacks on Iranian interests in Syria. More than 200 Israeli operations, Kerry said, were carried out by the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Forces, or by the Mossad, the Israeli spy service. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tweeted in response, quote, "Secretary Kerry, can you please explain to the American people why you disclose information about Israeli operations to the Iranian foreign minister? We've known for years that you were helping him. Americans deserve to know why." Now 19 Republican senators have sent a letter to Joe Biden saying, and I quote, "We ask you to investigate recent allegations that Senator Kerry, or Secretary Kerry, I should say, revealed sensitive information to the Iranian foreign minister, and if true, calls for his removal from your national security team." Well, that's all well and good to take away Mr. Special Climate Envoy's access to sensitive or classified information, but who knows what else he's leaked already? Will there be a 6 a.m. FBI raid on one of the green-friendly Kerry mansions to seize his electronic devices? Oh, I'm not holding my breath, and you shouldn't either. As long as Kerry wants to keep our CO2 out of the atmosphere. By the way, on Wednesday night, Joe Biden gave his first address to a joint session of Congress, drawing a much, much smaller crowd than those of his recent predecessors. Maybe viewers were concerned about socially distancing themselves. Well, I tweeted this, quote, "Watching Biden's speech alone in the room by myself. I'm vaccinated as well. Should I be wearing a mask? Might the virus come through the TV?" End quote. Still waiting for guidance from Dr. Fauci on that, but the TV ratings were indeed way down. For comparison, President Trump's 2017 address to Congress drew 48 million viewers compared to Biden's 23 million this year. And here's how some people, like Senator Ted Cruz, like that speech, watching in person. Take a look.
Send a bill to take a close look at it. We also have to get at the root problem of why people are fleeing.
My last thought on the Biden address was this. Too bad Nancy Pelosi didn't tear that speech in half before he gave it. One more thing from the Twitterverse. Independent journalist Michael Tracy tweets, "1 year after George Floyd, Minneapolis is Murderapolis again." In a lengthy column on Substack, well worth your read, Tracy reports that between January 1st and April 25th, the number of homicides increased by 92% compared to the same period in 2020. More than 80% of the shooting victims in 2020 were black. One cop added, This is going to get worse before it gets better. Basically, defund the police is a roaring success. Well, that is, if the goal was to turn Minneapolis back into Murderapolis. But to the other side of the pond, a shame on you to some police officers in the UK, maybe making me think that there are some police that might need to be defunded after all. Officers responded to arrest a 71-year-old pastor for preaching that marriage is between a man and a woman. You heard that right. Pastor John Sherwood, who's a pastor for 35 years, was hauled off to jail for what was considered a homophobic remark under Britain's Public Order Act. This is after an apparently offhanded onlooker flagged down the officers.
They're arresting the dear man, look. They're arresting him. Go on, you're on camera! You're on camera! You're on camera! You're on camera! You're on camera!
Pastor Sherwood spent the night in a West London jail, and he's still under investigation by the Crown Prosecution Service. He could be charged at a later date, but a shout out to the pastor who has had this to say, quote, "I wasn't making any homophobic comments. I was just defining marriage as a relationship between a man and a woman. I was only saying what the Bible says. I wasn't wanting to hurt anyone or cause offense. And I was doing what my job description says, which is to preach the gospel in open air as well as in church." Pastor Sherwood, I pray that there will be more like you, men that will, like you, stand up. And I also hope that the government oppression won't stop you from speaking the truth of the gospel. Well, until next time, these have been the facts of the matter. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, you ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.